Hi guys, this week we're going to look at doubt. How you can actually write doubt into a character or into your story, so you can either give doubt to the audience or make a character doubt. There is 6 distinct steps. I've got them written down just over there as a bit of a prompt. So let's get started. Doubt. The first thing you're going to do, doubt is a bit like a plant. It has to grow. You can't drop a doubt on someone because that produces shock. Doubt it's an internal emotion. A person has to grow into their doubt. They have to basically turn their back on what they believe. They may begin to doubt if you give them a large piece of information, but it's better in your story if you start to let doubt grow organically. Now, here is the 6 steps, very simple. You have to open the window to doubt, which means you have to leave an unresolved question. And then people want to fill it with something. They're not quite sure what's happening. They want to fill it with their own understanding. So now you're going to start giving them something to put into that question, to answer that question. And you develop, that's the next one, the question. Someone has to ask a question, either in the story or you have to pose a question to the audience. So you leave the window open for doubt. Could there be something? Could Craig be the murderer? So then you've got to pose a question. Where was Craig during the murder? Or why wouldn't Craig be the murderer? Craig's never commented on the murder. Craig's reluctant to say the word murder. Why is that? And that puts people, when they're answering that question, to fill in the window that they've got. They've got this doubt over here, the small opportunity for doubt, and now you're giving them some questions that's going to steer them in that direction. You start giving them, everyone has confirmation bias. So you start giving them information that will confirm their bias. Okay. So you say things like, well, Craig's a big guy. He's over 6 foot. And there was violence involved in this. And, I have heard that he's got a temper, which I don't. But then you start sort of going, well, and big guys are known to fly off the handle. I mean, how many people have you heard of being beaten to death by a jockey? You start feeding people's bias. You start pushing them towards you start giving them confirmation for their confirmation bias. If they're biased in that way, give them a bit more. So you've got a rich kid who's going to be cut out of the will. People are already going to say, oh, that's going to make them angry. So then you start giving them more information about that making them angry. You start confirming their bias towards something. Then one of the questions you posed earlier, it's like, but before you cut the red wire, I'm doing a bit of that. So some of the unanswered questions that you're sure, because you have given them a confirmation bias and you've confirmed their understandings, you now prove it. Not the whole thing. You now reward them for some of the biases that they had. And now they believe they've figured it out. You've rewarded them for figuring it out. Now, you expose them to something that enhances their understanding. You give them a big thing. You say, now here is history. So let's say it was a crime, Agatha Christie type murder. You think this guy's done it. You leave the window of doubt open to him in that he's refusing to answer a question. So there's a little bit of a window of doubt. You ask more questions about him. Well, has anyone seen him? Why isn't he answering those questions? And you begin to hide some of the facts about him from the audience. Then you start to show the bad side of his character to confirm the bias of the audience. Now they're beginning to not like him as much. Then you provide some information that lets them figure something out about him that they were suspecting before that they couldn't know what his motivation was, but now you show them the motivation, right? And then you give them something that confirms it, makes it better for them, and you prove their negative evaluation of him by showing him doing something, and that will have a good seed of doubt in their mind, which has become full-grown doubt. It's a pretty simple thing. 6 little steps: open the window, plant the seed, ask some questions that will feed into their bias. So you're feeding their bias with these questions. Then when their bias answers those questions for them, you reward them for answering those questions correctly, and then you give them a piece of proof. So the window's open and ends as a piece of proof, and that's the little thing you've got to take them on. Give them some questions, use their bias, let them answer it, reward them for answering, and show them that they're correct. And there's some doubt. Thanks everyone for watching. Anyone who's been doing this, that's been amazing. And until next time, guys, and thank you for everyone who's been liking the videos, because like I always say, that proves to the algorithm this is the sort of stuff you want to see. And not only will you see more of mine, you'll see more of everybody else's that's in this writing world. Until next time, guys, keep writing. Bye.